Japan it is. Okay. So here are the elephant boys. Not the elevator boys, but the elephant boys. I like the idea behind them, but unfortunately there are not that many great destruction decks that go into this. So I think elephant boys, unfortunately, have to go D. Then next card is Audacity. Honestly, I have not played this card a single time, but when I saw it, it looked pretty okay. Deal at least 3 damage and gives yourself a bomber that usually also just costs 3. So you get 3 damage for free. Or just a free bomber. I would rate this pretty high. B or A. Looking at the other Japanese cards. Considering A. Maybe, yeah, since I did not really I've not really played it by now. Yeah, let's put it here right now. Maybe we change it later, but for now I think it goes into B. Banzai. I remember, I'm not sure if it was Blue Blast, but somebody just thought that Banzai would be pretty OP. I don't like that it has text on it that you end your turn after you played it. Like, that makes the card way worse than it usually would be. Also 7 credits is really late game, and then you also have the risk that you don't kill all the units, and it's also killing your own units from time to time. So I don't know, it's just too much text and too much setup, and it's not helping you against big units. So I think I give it a better than the elephants, but not better than a C for crap. Yeah. Bombing rate. Yeah, I think we don't need to argue about bombing rate. Bombing rate instantly goes to S tier. Sayun got changed recently, not in the effect, but in the way how it works. Like when you deploy this into a countermeasure, it still has the effect. So it can be helpful. I think I put it in line with the Audacity here. Lightning Conquest. Oh man. Lightning Conquest can be pretty strong when you just have the correct board for it. But yeah, in the current game state, it's frustrated like the other. It's unplayable. Diner. I really like the Diner a lot. Or Dina, however you want to call it. Is it in line with bombing rate? I think it is. It's just a staple in Feint Retreat Jaggro. Because it gives you good chances to draw your Type 94s or Type 93s. Signal Regiment. Can get a lot of good stuff for it. Yeah, I think it's also it. Then, yeah. No arguments about desperate measures. Feint Retreat. Now we have a problem. Like, Feint Retreat is only played in Feint Retreat Jaggro. Other than that, this card is useless. But I think I would still give it S tier because in that deck it's just broken. Yeah, Jaggro the only Japan deck. Mostly, yeah. Also resistance. J-King is bringing resistance this OCC, so maybe we will see it in World Championship again. Wait for it. Home defense. Home defense also needs a lot of setup. And it's not even guaranteed that the value you get of it. How much is it costing when you have the setup there? 5? Oh. Or. But you need 10 or less on your HQ. And it gives you a type 3. and an IG. A good synergy with Audacity from time to time. But still, nobody plays this. I rated with Banzai here. Isolation. Isolation is good on buffed units, because it also removes the buffs on them. But yeah, it's just delaying a problem, not really solving it. So I think I'd also give it a C. Jade Division. Also a card I like the idea behind, but it's just too slow. Also 2 operation cost. Is it D? I think it's D. It's pretty bad. Kawanishi. When you don't have answers against that, that card is really, really bonkers. I think I rate Kawanishi B. Close to A, honestly. Why do we not have an A until now? But I see some potential candidates here for A. But Kawanishi, I think it's not really A. It's only good in last rites, burn decks. Key 83. Is Key 83 still S tier after they removed ambush? Okay. E83 has to be removed instantly. Really? I mean, just imagine this card has ambush when it came out. So it's also giving your opponent draw, but in Jaggro this is still a very strong card. Because Jaggro usually needs draw more than the control player that it's playing against. So yeah, it's... yeah. Cannot get around and just give it another S here. Kika also mostly played in burn decks. Like order burn decks with last rites, because it gives you more kamikazes. Plus the additional 6 damage there on turn 10. But it's never S for me. And I'm not even sure if it's A. Audacity, Sayun, Kika. Oh, let's... I think it's a little bit stronger than these, because it has Blitz, 6 damage, and it gives you potential to outlast Fatigue there. Then we have Last Rites. Last Rites also close to being S tier. Really good control card there. Plus pretty good in burn decks combined with the Kawanishi. But since the kamikazes cost 1 now, I think it's more A than S. Then we have the Pete. Can be annoying, but again, a good example of how 2 operation cost makes the card really bad. Like for 2 credits each turn, it's just not offering enough value. Yeah, it's not even about the... it could have 1 HP, because you cannot attack into this anyways with ground units. But yeah, 2 operation costs. It's really making this card not worth play. I'm even considering D, honestly. I think T is fine. The effect is pretty nice. Rating we got. Nothing to talk about this one for too long. S for sure. Rule the Skies. Yeah, unfortunately we don't have a pretty good Japan air deck. Otherwise, Rule the Skies. I mean, 2 credits. That's pretty cheap for the effect that it has. But yeah, there's just no deck that is good to play to build it around. So that's close. It's not as bad as the Pete, honestly. Isolation. But is it as good as Audacity? Okay, I think it fits pretty well in here. Shiden, having Ambush, Blitz, and Fury. I think there's no other option. Give it another S. Signal Regiment. I mean, what else than S tier? Like, this can auto win you games as a Jaggro player, even if you don't touch the opponent's HQ. Just this card alone can just kill an opponent. Soul of Old Japan. Okay, we also just wait until we have all the other cards. To the Last Man. Such a strong card. Unfortunately, there's not really a good Japanese control deck at the moment, but if there would be one, then To the Last Man would 100% be in it. I think I rated A. 10 credits, destroy every unit. I think it's not S, but A is pretty well fitting there. Anti-air gun. Some aggro decks actually play this. Not the biggest fan, especially since Brit Air is out of the game now. Should see less and less play. I think I give it a B. Yamamoto. I think in my whole career, I have never seen an Admiral Yamamoto played against me. And I think this just shows how bad this card is. Then we have the Yamato. It's really sad that Yamato is only being played on Japanese units there. Otherwise, I think it would be OP to build a good token stack around it. I think it's okayly balanced, but somehow still bad. But I give it a B. It's not bad, it's not good, it's just not worse to play in Jaggro, for example, because they're better cards. There would be not so many good orders and you need little orders for Feigned Retreat, then maybe Yamato would be in the deck too. So, last unit here, Yokosuka. Oh, just imagine, I think when Yokosuka came out, it was 2 credit, 0 operation cost, right? That was pretty strong. Too strong. But now somehow it is too weak. So where do we put it? I think it's still better than C tier. Give it another B. And now we can evaluate the Soul of Old Japan a little bit better. Can get Diner. Key. I mean, it depends in what deck, right? You would never play this in Jaggro because it's just like if you get a Pete, Kawanishi, I don't know, the Elephants, Jade Division, and even in Control, what do you want to get out of this? A Kika maybe, but not even that. So I think Soul of Old Japan is, I don't know, something between C or D. E83 is good sometimes. Raiding Brigade, Kicker. But what do you want with a Kawanishi or Pete? And I think I give it D. D it is for me. Lightning Conquest is not D tier. I think it is at the moment. It's like unplayable at the moment. So look how many S tiers we have here. Everybody's saying that Japan is not strong enough, other than Jaggro. I mean, it's mostly just cards that are played in Jaggro, right? Is there any card that is not played in a Jaggro deck? No. Okay. Maybe we should nerf Jaggro.